Hey everyone, today I wanted to share a question that one of our Yoga Mystery Box members asked in our private Facebook group in regards to the core. She said when she's doing core work, she feels like she's putting too much pressure on her low back and not engaging her core. She asked, what can she do? She also asked a second question about posture and relating to how can she translate her core work into helping her not slouch throughout the day. So in this video, I'm going to answer both those questions, starting with the first one. So in regards to how do you actually activate your core and not put too much pressure in your low back, let's back it up a little bit by just talking about the area of your core. So of course your core muscles are everything 360 degrees wrapping around from your diaphragm all the way to your pelvic floor, and again 360 degrees around. But one of the action of the abdominal muscles is when it contracts, it makes the pelvis go into a tuck position, or sometimes, like when I'm teaching this, I'll call this the Michael Jackson. And then this, the tilt, the anterior tilt, is the Kim Kardashian. So Michael, Kim, all right? And we use our core, one of the actions again, when we contract some of these abdominal muscles, that will put our pelvis into more of this tucked position. Now, another way that you could tuck your pelvis without using your core is potentially by squeezing your glutes and tucking under. So you might potentially be squeezing your glutes and not necessarily actually activating your core when you're laying on your back. Now, another way that I like to really help people get some feedback between if they've got too much pressure on their low back when they're doing core work is by using a strap. And I learned this from Jenny Rawlings and I love it. I use it all the time. So I'm taking a strap, I've doubled it up so it's pretty, actually it's folded 4 times because it's a really long strap. It's pretty thick so that you can really feel it when you lay down. So what you're gonna do is lie on down and you lift up and place the strap at the back of your pelvis around your low back. And then from there, you can use this so you can really feel that strap. And now as I inhale, we'll feel the 2 extremes. So we'll feel what it's like to tilt, going into that Kim Kardashian position where you're arching your low back away from the strap. And then as you exhale, you tuck and press your low back into the strap. But can you do that tuck by activating and initiating the movement from your core, a wrapping in, not a sucking in, not by squeezing your glutes right now. And then inhale again as you tip, arch away. Exhale as you tuck and press the low back into the strap. You can close your eyes and just feel these 2 extremes movement of the pelvis. It's full range of motion in this tilt position, this anterior tilt, and then it's range of motion when you're tucked. You also want to make sure that your ribs are not really doing the movement here. So I want to make sure I'm not just flaring out my ribs and arching way up high. So be mindful of that. And then eventually we find our Goldilocks pelvis, our middle pack pelvis, where we're not too tilted, not too tucked, but we're right in the middle. So when we're in neutral, we can feel our low back on the strap, but we're not putting a lot of pressure on it, okay? And then you think about, again, 2 sides of your waist kind of hugging into the midline. And then from there, if we were gonna do some of our supine tabletop work, we could lift 1 foot up and the other foot. And again, just making sure I'm not arching away from the strap, but I'm not putting too much pressure into that strap. And then from here, we could do a lot of different things like finding this isometric work of pushing hands to legs, legs to hands, or doing our bird dog variations. So we could do lots of different things with the feedback of the strap. So that's what I would try out and see if that helps. question number 2 she asked again was, how do I translate my core work into helping me have better posture throughout the day? She feels like she's slouching. So, number 1 is that slouching is not necessarily an indicator that you have a weak core, okay? So I catch myself slouching and I don't consider myself to have a weak core. It's just a habit that I do. So you would want to just notice, if you notice that you're slouching for a high frequency of the day, you're doing it a lot, then that's when it becomes more problematic than if you just kind of catch yourself slouching here and there. But it's a posture, habit that you just have to kind of notice when you're doing it and then try to correct yourself, coming back to being nice and tall. For any position, whether that's slouching, sitting at your desk all day, sitting on the floor like I am, any position has the potential to cause you pain or to cause your body problems, let's just say, discomfort. So the key then is to really vary your positioning. So more than worrying about slouching throughout the day, I would try to vary up your positioning, and that will really make more of a difference. So maybe that's meaning having more dynamic workstations, moving your computer into different places as you work, trying to stand up, trying to sit down. If you do slouch a lot and you notice that, then when you're noticing it, just try to readjust. And yes, your core and your back muscles do have to learn how to work a little bit more, because it takes more work for them when they're upright, but they work a little more efficiently when you are in a stacked position. But that being said, again, I don't think it's something that you have to, really worry about. But if you're doing it a lot, again, the problem is more in frequency, not necessarily the position itself. So I hope that makes sense. I know it's a little counterintuitive to everything that we hear, but our bodies are really resilient and strong, and your core is adaptable. And especially if it's a strong functional core, our body is able to adapt into different positions. So I don't think you have to worry so much about being slouched, but if it's something that you want to work on, it's just like any other kind of habit. You just notice when you're doing it, correct yourself, but don't be too uptight or be too hard on yourself about it. The focus should more be on changing your position up as much as you can in the middle of your day. And if you can't actually move your computer, your workstation, if you just get up, stand up, at least once every hour, do a little bit of yoga for 5 minutes, do some movement, and then come back down. But varying that position is going to be more beneficial to your body than trying to stay in one static, perfect position all day long. I hope that helps. Drop all of your questions and comments below. Let me know what you think. See y'all next time.